Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the next part of the 12-week series that I'm doing with Marcia at Markets of Sunshine. Every Wednesday morning, we are uploading a video with the same basic theme, but we approach it different ways. Today, we're talking about mending. And, not many of us probably do much mending anymore. It just doesn't seem to be in our culture. But sometimes we think of mending as always just, repairing holes and things like that. But sometimes mending can be like part of our upcycling, and in that we have maybe a problem on a garment, so we create things to take care of that. And one of the things that I like to do is to make patches or pockets. And so many times that will cover a problem in a garment that I might have. And so today that's what I'm talking about. Now this is a pocket that I've made. I'm doing the last bit of stitching here on this little black piece that's going right down here at the bottom. So let me get that stitched, and then we'll talk about how I might use this in a mending situation. I do have a garment that I want to repair. I love it. It's comfortable, and it has a stain on the front. It's a beautiful cream colored sweater, and I really need it this time of year. And so I need to do something with it. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So let me get this little piece here, the final piece on this pocket, sewn down while I visit with you. So how is your December going so far? I know that all of us in the northern hemisphere are shivering, but all of you in the southern hemisphere are enjoying, I'm sure, warm days, sunny, pleasant weather. But not us, not here in Texas right now, USA. And so even though we have different situations, almost like we live in two different worlds, and in some ways we do. When we talk about the northern and southern hemisphere, everything is just flipped. I think about this time of year, all the holidays that are celebrated are centered around winter time and fall, and all the decorations and things like that. But now in the southern hemisphere, if those same celebrations are taking place, it's summertime. Can you wrap your head around that one? So it's just kind of interesting. But we're still a small world. We're still one family, and we want to keep our harmony and our unity and our love as humanity. Okay, I'm halfway around, coming in on the home stretch. This is such a cute little piece. I'll show it to you closer in a minute. It has just a little bit of a rhinestone glitz on it, and a little bit of embroidered flower. And just set this little piece of a quilted remnant that I have, and we'll make an adorable pocket on something. I don't know what it's going to go on, but eventually it'll make an adorable pocket. Okay, coming around, coming around. Of course, you know me, I like bling and glitz and all of that. So when it comes to mending, it's got to have some artsy feel to it, even if it's a utilitarian project for me. Now, not everybody feels that way, But so that's why I take the time to make things in advance, so that when I do have to mend things, I've got something ready to go. In most cases, I can find something I've already sewn that will do the trick for me as a patch or a cover-up some way. Okay, let's take this down. There's the little, see that little flower, and you can see that little glitz there. Isn't that cute? With the little mannequin. Just some pieces, little scraps sewn together. Makes a beautiful pocket, okay? So now let's look at some other things that I've done that I have prepared in advance that can be used to cover a problem with a garment. There's another pocket. Isn't that pretty? And here's another. Now this can be sewn as a pocket, or it can be turned and just simply as an embellishment in either way. Okay, it was a odd piece of batting, and I thought, well, let me just bling that up, and so that's what I did. And here's a circle that I did for one of the prompts in my school community. And by the way, if you haven't checked that out, the school community that I created called the Cozy Makers Club is like an extension of the YouTube channel here. But it's more social, it's more interactive, and we can actually come together as a community in ways that we really can't do here very well. And so if you'd like, make sure that you jump over there, because it's going to be, the memberships are free all during December. So if you join in December, you can join free. And January 1st is going to be a paid membership. So take that into consideration. But this is where I made that for our December prompt about creating a circle. And I did this from a fabric flip that one of the members sent me, and our swap there. And isn't that adorable? And so that also could be a wonderful patch. Okay, so let's look at some of these things on the actual problem that I have. Okay, let me see if I can get this in the camera vision good. Let me lay it out here. This is an old sweater, but it's a beautiful winter white, creamy. It's comfortable, but as you can see, it has a stain. Let me bring it down a little bit. It has a stain right here, right where I don't need it, right slap dab in the front, okay? And a little bit right here. So the only problem with putting pockets to cover that is that I have a lower pocket here, and this pocket would just fall too high up. Okay, so if I used it as a pocket, it would just be unhandy. Now I could just flat sew it down as an embellishment, but then it looks a little bit, you know, off center. If I were going to do that, I think I'd come over, lower it a little bit, and put it above the pocket down here. So it just doesn't work right for that either. Now this one's kind of interesting. You could always lay it in there, something like that, okay, and make a just a interesting applique to it. And then you could even go over to the other side and put something right here that would make it look like it was jumping over and continuing on the other side. So that's a possibility, okay? You could turn it different ways, all right? The little one doesn't do the job unless there was something added with it, okay? Again, it just, you know, maybe if I had two of them, which I don't, of this size, that might look good. But again, it seems like it needs to be not just jammed up over here. So this one would be beautiful on here. But again, the pocket part would be too high. And it would be pretty if it was down in here. If it was just going to be a upcycle, you could even bring it down over the present pocket and sew it in there. Wouldn't that be pretty on this garment? Very well. Okay, let's go back to our stain situation here. Again, a circle just, it doesn't have composition. It's just out of balance just by itself. A pocket too high. That might be pretty again if it was continued with something on the other side so that it made sense for it to be just there. And again, it's a little high, but it would do. It would work that way if I continued it on the other side with something that coordinated with it, so that when your sweater came together, it made a line that made sense. Okay, so the other option I have are some circles. These circles that I create. Now I thought this might work because I can position them. I can balance them. So let's see if I can do that. Get that out of my way here so you can see. Let me bring it back down. All right. So here's the top of our pocket. What if we put this one just tucking and like it's peeking, coming out of the pocket, okay? We could take this one that's bigger and put it up right over the very top of that one. We could use a little one right under to cover that lower part. We could throw this one in on this lower stain right here and maybe put that one out there. And that kind of makes a compositional balance. Do you agree? That kind of makes sense, like the circles are coming up out of the pockets and migrating up the sweater. I'm really leaning heavily to this one. So I am going to pin those there in place so that I know where I want to put them. When I get these in place, then I will put it on, evaluate it, see if I need to add more, see if I need to move one over, continue with one on the other side, or whether this looks good in its own composition and balance just like it is. Okay. All right, do I have it? Yep, I have it all on there. Now, they're out there and they're ready to sew. To keep this, because this is sweater material and it gives and stretches a lot, I'm going to put a piece of interfacing under these where I'm sewing them. I'm going to cut it a little oversized because when I get it sewn, I can come back on the back side and trim it down. So if I were to put this flat down and lay this over it, when I sewed, I would have a stabilizer back there that would help stabilize the fabric on the sweater. and where the stitches will not pull and pucker. All right, let's turn it over, and so we have that, and I'm going to pin it from this side. Now, this may not be the professional mending way, but this is my way. It's worked through the years, and it works for me. And since my nice sweaters I hand wash and lay out flat to dry, this isn't stressed by going through the washing machine. Let's get that here. I don't want to stretch out that sweater fabric. I want it to lay naturally. All right, let's see. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now that gives me a foundation to sew on. So I can turn it around here. Whoops. Why am I dragging in other thread? Which sounds about par for me. All right. Now I'm going to just use a regular embroidery floss to do this with. And I'm going to try to stay somewhat in the color variations that are there naturally. So let's look what I've got here. That looks like a good color for that. And that looks like a good matching color for that. So we have the two colors ready to go. Let's get some pink out of here. Okay, we'll have to divide us out. I think I'm going, instead of using 2, I think I'm going to use 3 strands. Give it just a little bit more holding weight without being bulky. Okay. Get this thread separated here. And let's see how this goes on this sweater. I need, where's my, there it is. Okay. Get this needle threaded, and it went through. Excuse me. Sneeze coming on. As you can see, I'm in my robe. When it comes wintertime, you always see me in my robes. I have my clothes on, but I have a robe on too. It's just that time of year for me. Of course, being almost 80 doesn't help. You just don't stay warm as you used to. But my hot chai latte on the side here is helping me too. So let's go under here. And we're just going to go around the outside like we've already done. But we're going to go around the outside to sew it to our sweater. We're going to make snug Stitches, but no tension. Don't cinch them too tight. Just make them nice and snug. We want it to lay flat. We don't want it to pucker or pull. They don't have to be real close together. Okay. The circle itself is sewn, so it's just a matter of we want to get it secured to the sweater. Okay. See how that is working on the back side? When you embellish, decorate as you're mending, it's so much more fun, and you're so much more likely to get your mending done because it's a project that you like. It's a project that you already would love to do. You know, you're always up for a challenge for your fabrics and your scraps and your creations. So keep it in that frame of mind and do that. And you know, depending on the personality of your child, they will either love or hate these homemade mending patches. So you kind of have to test that out with them and their clothing. But so many of them do love them because it makes them stand out. They're different. They have something nobody else has. And so especially little girls seem to like that. And if you make it pretty, and if you put it in their favorite colors, and you put it in shapes that they like, you can put it in hearts, you can put it in little bird shapes, you can put it in circles, blocks, triangles, whatever they like. For little boys, you might make little boats, trees, something like that, shape of a rabbit. You know, put some thought into doing it in a way that would attract them. You don't want a bunch of lace on a little boy's patch. One lady that I know that had a little boy, she did a whole bunch of tools. She shaped her appliques like hammers and wrenches and all kinds of tools. And she would keep a bunch of those around, and every time she needed to mend a hole in a shirt or a pair of jeans or whatever, he got another tool until he had a whole toolbox full of them. But he loved it. He loved it, and he was the envy of all the little boys in his neighborhood and his class at school. Yeah. So there's a creative way, and you can bring joy to those, your children and grandchildren too, if they like them. And don't be downhearted if they don't, because some children don't like to stand out. They don't like to be different. And we wouldn't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Sometimes when we do something like this, visible mending, for instance, before I mended this, this color, this winter white, would go with anything. Now that I've added these colors and a certain style, it's going to somewhat limit what it will go with. So realize that you might do that. And but that's okay. You know, that's okay. I have plenty of other things it can go with. Okay, I got a little pucker here, and that's okay. But I don't want a bunch of that, but just one here is okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to secure it by sewing inside to the center. And I'm going to go across the center of this applique to hold it down center-wise. I'm just going to take a few stitches, not going to go through to the front side, but I can go into the circle because it has a batting center itself. And so the thickness there, I can use it to secure this down. All right, I'm going to tie this off. Make that little knot. Take these extra pins out. See how it's laying. That lays very nice, lays very flat, don't you think? Now I can go in here and very carefully, don't want to cut the sweater, I can just trim this up around the stitching. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. But, you know, somewhat neat. If your sweater flips inside out, you would want to have all kinds of goofy looking edges. Something that made sense. Okay. All right, that little circle is sewn. Let's take that off and put that back on. Okay. So now you can see that we have the backing on the patch, and our circle is coming down over this stain on the front side. Okay. Let me lay it out here again so we can see what we're looking at. I think that's going to look pretty, don't you? When I get it finished there, I think it's going to be so cute. I think it's going to really look like these circles are escaping from this pocket down here. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about mending. And we don't always have to attack it like a chore. We can attack it like an art project and have fun with it and wear it with pride. You know, I can get another couple of years wear out of this sweater, where before it would have been useless to me. And why would I want to just throw it away when I could do something with it that's fun and wear it with pride because it represents who I am? And so do that in your mending and enjoy your process. Again, don't forget to jump over to Marsha's at Markets of Sunshine. Let's see what she's going to be doing with visible mending. And I think this is number 9 out of 12 of our week. So we're we're coming close to closing in on this series. We'll be ending it this month. And so let's see what else we have to do. And I forgot to get my theme for next week. So Marsha probably will do that. She's so good about remembering to do that. So she'll let you know probably what we're going to be doing next Wednesday. So make sure you come back each Wednesday through the next 3 weeks to get all the rest of these projects, okay? And again, don't forget about jumping over. The link is in the post about my school communities. Come over, join us. It's free this month. And if you join this month, it stays free for life. So come on over and see what we're doing and join in the fun. We have, I believe, right now 35, 36 members, and we're having a lot of fun. And we can really interact there, which is a wonderful extension to all our wonderful community here on YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just building an extension where we can become better acquainted. So until next video, please take care and stay scrap happy.